Hey guys, Philosopher here, and I am here with day 5 of my DD5 update. And we now have another finisher, second place, DAREDEVIL, my alliance mate. Congratulations to him as well. He built a team that was even more expensive than mine in terms of gear. So that was even more gear was required for him to get across the finish line. So that was quite an effort on his part. I am finishing up Cosmic right now, and I would say there's a pretty big gap between me and number 4. The guy in 4th still hasn't entered in Global yet, so he's still back waiting to get into, I think he's finished City, and so he's waiting to get into Global. I am not far away from completing this, and I will do that live on my Twitch channel now that I'm back from my honeymoon. I appreciate everybody being understanding about that. I'm also going to try to go back. I have a lot of footage saved on my iPad and iPhone of the different nodes. I'm going to try to go back and do videos showcasing the different nodes because I think that will be useful to folks who are planning out their own teams. I'll also be working on an infographic, and I'm going to do something. I'm going to try to do a video for folks explaining how I raced, how the race was this year, why it was different than DD4, how I think about choosing teams, and then we'll talk about how I think you guys should build your teams, which are different since you're not going to be doing it from a race perspective. So for Cosmic, I had the cheapest Cosmic team by a pretty good margin. I mean, when you look at the other folks and what they were bringing in, he's got the Eternals. This is very expensive because, in terms of Mystic gear, he had already brought in Cloak and Dagger, and then they have the Eternals and DEATHPOol. On top of Cloak and Dagger's a lot of Mystic gear. Okay, and here he brought in Beta Ray brought in Silver Surfer and Icarus on top of bringing in Cloak and Dagger. And on top of adding Adam Warlock for Legendaries, just a lot of Mystic gear. So I spread mine out quite a bit, trying to spread out all the origins. And so here you see that I've got Mutant gear. I've set everybody now to Raider. And I've done pretty well through this node, and through all the nodes, really. I mean, when you look at Mission 10, it took me 5 attacks. Mission 11 took me 6 attacks. Here on 12, node 12, it's been 5 attacks so far. And I have to say, I have not really been doing this over and over. This has been a lot easier for me than Dark Dimension 4 was. Dark Dimension 4, when I go through my attacks there, and give you a sense of how hard Dark Dimension 4 was, it was a lot more attacks. Now back then I didn't have as many red stars and yellow stars, and I was obviously didn't even have max Stark Tech. So this was back when I had 7 million TCP, but you can see on some of these nodes 22 attacks in node 6, 35 attacks in node 9, 33 attacks in node 12. Here I'm just picking teams and just blowing through them. Here, I really haven't had any problems with any nodes. So let's go into node 12. Let's finish up Cosmic here. This is the lineup that I'm using. I got the Dad Bros on the end, Phylavel and Moondragon next to Kestrel. And you'll see this is the last wave of Cosmic. So you can get a sense of what the last wave, the end of node 12 is. This is sort of the penultimate. And I've been able to do this pretty much in X3, although I usually think you're better off doing it at 2 times speed so you can quickly quit out. The reason that I'm able to get away with doing this without being in 2x speed is that these characters tend to be so resilient. So I'm going to quit out of this one. And you guys may be wondering, well, wait, Philosopher, this is boring. Why do you start and go over and over? And really what you're looking for is some good RNG at the start. So we'll do this a few times to see, do the Dad Bros die right at the beginning every time or not? Another thing you need to realize is these characters are really altered from the real versions. They have extra speed and so forth. That's why. So see, this time we have 4 alive. They spread out the attacks a little bit. Another thing that you can do here is you can look at the teams. And for example, if we look at DEATHPOOL, you can see sort of, okay, she's got 4 million health. You know, how does Daredevil 179 speed? Way faster. That's faster than any character in the game by a good margin. Nick Fury is slow, but 300 speed on Night Nurse. I mean, it's just, these are ridiculous speed. Ludicrous speed. So this gives you a sense of what you're dealing with here. These are characters that have artificially inflated stats. And basically, I'm trying to get the right RNG here so that they kind of spread out their attacks a little bit. The dad bros live. And I get all 5 alive, ideally. There we go. This is why you do this over and over. You want to get the good RNG, so there we go. I'm trying to kill DEATHPOOL first. All right. We're trying to use the Kestrel, getting the defense down so we can get Kestrel pings up. But you see why I did the RNG there, right? You see why I did the restart. All right. You can see Night Nurse is doing a lot of work because she's 300 speed. Look at this. All right, so I'm going to go after Daredevil. Seems like a lot more important enemy there. Once again, I'm focusing. There you go. Look at that. I mean, a lot of work is being done by Kestrel here. Okay, that's not good. But this is good. We can still focus on DEATHPOOL. And let's see how well the dad bros do. Not bad. Okay. There we go. Once again. This is going very well. I probably should have... Oh, there we go. I was going to say maybe I should have done a basic, but no, that worked out very well. Let's try to get down Night Nurse because she's 300 speed. Plus she heals the others. Okay. Stay alive. Stay alive, everyone. Stay alive. We did. So, yeah, having a little bit of patience here, waiting for the RNG helps. And that was only waiting a few times. So this can't be dodged. So this is a perfect attack to go after Spider-Man with. All right, we'll do this here. I don't really mind that they're going after. Ooh. So we lost Kestrel. That sucks. We have a really good shot of beating this node anyway. No problem. Like I said, this is a lot easier than DD4. A lot easier. A lot easier. No problem, just going in, doing some attacks, so boom. Now I'm at 80%. Now this is why you see people stuck at certain percentages. So we've got right now, there are now what? 17 people who have entered. And you see these folks are all stuck at 20%. That's because they only can get through the first 3 nodes. They don't have enough. And they don't have 5 city characters. I think it would have behooved them probably to bring 5 city characters in to start, but they maybe didn't have the gear for that. Or like me, they misclicked or something. Who knows? And then you could see, he's the only other one who's gotten through city. And then now I'm through global and cosmic. So now for me, it's a gear management exercise. And you may say, well, philosopher, what do you mean by that? Well, I literally am counting up my gear and trying to figure out when I refresh, let's say the War Store or refresh the this store here or even the event store, just getting the last few pieces that I need. So I'm just waiting for the refreshes to the store so I get the last couple pieces that I need to enter into the legendary section. Okay, that's really what this is about for me. You can see, when you look through in the beginning, there's going to be a variety of teams because, a lot of people are just bringing in whatever, okay, they're starting with the Eternals or whatever. You can't use them till Cosmic. So these folks that are doing that, they're maybe doing that for Arena or something. But once you get to City, you can see the folks that have entered pretty much have been bringing in Cloak and Dagger. Very expensive teams. And I think if you are purely focused on getting through DD5 the fastest, you might want to pick lower geared characters because Cloak and Dagger's a lot of mystic gear. In other words, you could probably trudge through this with some combination of symbiotes and Heroes for Hire or something like that. I considered that approach. The reason that I did not ultimately go with that approach is because Tadano was really getting through the notes quickly, and I just decided it's probably better to have the best team possible to get through the notes quickly to try to keep up. That's sort of what I did there. But I do think choosing Secret Avengers was a very good approach for me in Global. You can see Beta Ray had a little bit of trouble with a mishmash team with Doom. More of like Weapon X and Doom. I think Secret Avengers did pretty well. He brought Secret Avengers and Doom and Ghost, which is a very expensive, and Emma, very expensive team in terms of gear. It just means he bought a lot of gear that I didn't to afford that. So that's just very difficult to pull off. These are much cheaper characters to gear. Sabretooth is one of the lowest gear requirements in terms of teal gear. Lady Deathstrike is low. Maria Hill and Sharon Carter are low. Captain Sam is basically average. All of these are basically below average in terms of gear requirement, and they're all meta characters, so I felt okay about gearing them. So that's a kind of comparison of the teams that you're seeing here in Global. And then into Cosmic, this is purely a balancing thing on my part in terms of balancing. This is a ton of Mystic gear. If you do that plus Cloak and Dagger, I don't have that much Mystic gear. And then, that was really the thing I used. I hadn't used any mutant gear yet at all, other than very tiny amount for Sabretooth, so I used it there. And then here you can see the teams that they did here. They both brought in Black Bolt, which is a bio character. They both brought in Phoenix and Omega Red, so they used a lot of mutant gear here. This is really the spot where they did, although I think both of them used some mutant gear in Global, which I did not use much. And then you could see the difference here. Tadano, in addition to all of that Mystic gear, he had 3 Miasma characters, which I barely scraped by with 2. He brought in 2 Mystic characters here in terms of Adam Warlock and Ebony Maw. And then, we'll see what I end up doing. You can kind of see how these teams did here. Very comparable. Seems like they're pretty comparable for the most part. But we'll see, but it's not taking him that many attacks to get through. Beta Ray Bill entered Legendary today, and he was able to plow through it pretty quickly. So, we're seeing 5 days in, there's already 2 people who completed it. Very different than DD4, where it took a month, I think, or maybe 3-4 weeks to get through. For the first person to get through DD4. Very different contests. I'll explain more about that. I'll do a video after I'm done completing it about how I raced, how the race here is different than DD4, how I chose characters, and then I'll also talk about and do an infographic on what characters you guys might want to look at for your own teams for DD5. And I'll do an infographic like I did last time, where I think my message for DD4 was don't do what I did. And I think that's also some advice, similar to some advice I might give this time. All right, guys, I hope you like this video. Good to be back. I'm trying to try to catch up on a lot of things soon. But if you like this video and like the effort I've been putting into this, smash that like button. Subscribe to this channel. If you have comments or questions, you can leave them below. You can also go to my Discord. That is linked below as well. You can also go to my Twitch stream and watch all this live. You can watch me complete DD5 live there, and that's linked below as well.